The fire of vengeance, a father's justice. The flames roared in the community garage, a beacon of chaos in the manicured calm of Willow Creek Estates. My son, Ethan, just 9 years old and paralyzed from the waist down, was trapped inside. The woman who set the blaze, Marjorie Hensley, the HOA president, stood outside, her lips curled into a smirk. She didn't know I wasn't just a grieving widower with a desk job. I was a retired Marine Corps colonel with connections to Special Forces, and I didn't wait for the law to act. I crashed through the inferno to save my boy, then hunted her down with the fury of a father scorned. This isn't just a tale of HOA tyranny, it's about what happens when a quiet man is pushed too far, and the cost of justice in a world that looks the other way. We'd moved to Willow Creek 6 months earlier, chasing the promise of a fresh start after my wife's passing. The neighborhood screamed suburban perfection, trimmed hedges, white picket fences, and a community pool that sparkled under the Georgia sun. Ethan and I kept to ourselves. I drove a beat-up Ford, wore faded flannel, and played the part of a contractor nursing old war wounds. My real identity, me rank, my clearance stayed buried. Ethan, though, was the light in our shadowed world. Every day at 4 p.m., he wheeled himself to the community garage, his sanctuary. He called it Hangar 1, a workshop where he built model planes with the precision of a master engineer. His favorites Eagle, Phantom, and Viper lined the walls, each with specs he could recite like poetry. "Legs don't make a pilot, Dad," he'd say. "It's about the sky." I believed him. Marjorie Hensley, the HOA president, was a force of nature in Chanel and pearls. Mid-50s, with hair dyed the color of winter frost, she ruled Willow Creek like a queen. Her clipboard was her scepter, her smile a weapon. She didn't approach us right away. Instead, she watched, her gaze sharp behind lace curtains. When she finally knocked, it wasn't to welcome us. "Mr. Callahan," she purred, eyeing the ramp I'd built for Ethan. "We value uniformity here." "That ramp, it's an eyesore." I gripped the doorframe, my voice low. "It's my son's way into his home." Her eyes narrowed. "Perhaps something less obtrusive. We wouldn't want to disrupt the neighborhood's charm." I stepped closer. "My son builds planes while other kids waste time. He's no disruption." She didn't flinch, but her smile tightened. "This is my domain, Mr. Callahan." I shut the door, my heart pounding. She'd just drawn a line in the sand. The trouble escalated fast. One afternoon, I watched Ethan wheel to the garage, his latest Projecta P-51 Mustang model tucked under his arm. He'd spent weeks on it, carving every detail by hand. I was on the porch, sipping coffee, when Marjorie stormed across the street, a claw hammer glinting in her hand. By the time I reached the garage, Ethan was on the floor, staring at the wreckage of his plane. Marjorie loomed over him, hammer raised. "Military obsession has no place here," she declared to the gawking neighbors. "This is a peaceful community." I stepped between her and Ethan, my voice deadly calm. "You smashed a disabled boy's work." She sneered. "He glorifies war. You don't belong here." Ethan's voice broke. "Why, Dad?" I knelt, gathering the pieces, and vowed she'd pay. Marjorie didn't stop. She shifted to covert warfare, watching Ethan's every move. I caught her snapping photos from her rose bushes, her camera lens glinting like a sniper's scope. New HOA rules appeared. No unsupervised kids in common areas, no motorized wheelchairs outside designated paths. It was a campaign to erase Ethan. One night, I found a recorder hidden near our porch, its red light blinking. Another time, the garage door was ajar, though I'd locked it tight. I barely slept, my old Marine instincts screaming. Marjorie wasn't just a bully, she was a predator, and she was closing in. October 12th was the day she crossed the final line. Ethan was in the garage, tinkering with his new Projecta Black Hawk helicopter he called Thunderbolt. He'd engineered hand-controlled rotor blades, a design even the military hadn't dreamed up. "Disabled pilots can fly, Dad," he'd said, eyes alight. At 3:45 p.m., I was in a secure video call with the Pentagon, discussing a classified op. I didn't see Marjorie approach the garage, her lavender sweater a cruel disguise. She told Ethan there was a gas leak and urged him inside, then locked the door. She poured gasoline, struck a match, and watched the flames roar. Ethan, trapped, clutched his stuffed Viper model, whispering, "F-22, max speed 1,500 knots, like a prayer against the smoke." A neighbor's frantic call shattered my focus. Your son's trapped. Marjorie locked him in. Time stopped. I bolted to the basement, where a hidden panel concealed my contingency plan, a military-grade UTV, armored and unregistered. I punched in the code, roared through my garage wall, and tore across lawns, smashing through the burning garage's side. Flames licked my fireproof suit as I found Ethan, curled in a corner, soot-streaked but alive. I carried him out, chair and all, and handed him to a neighbor. Then I saw her Marjorie, filming the blaze, her smile gleeful. Rage took over. I climbed into the UTV, reversed, and floored it. She didn't move, thinking I'd hesitate. She was wrong. The impact sent her sprawling into her prized azaleas, her phone skittering across the pavement. I crushed it under my boot, zip-tied her wrists, and slipped a blackout hood over her head. You tried to burn my son, I growled. She spat back. You're nothing but a thug. I leaned close. I'm a father. That's everything. Delta Force arrived minutes later, Black Hawks thundering overhead. The lead operative saluted. You good, Colonel? I nodded, pointing to Marjorie, now thrashing under the hood. She's the one. They hauled her into a chopper, her screams fading as the doors slammed shut. The neighbors, once silent, spoke up. She watched the fire, one said. She filmed it, another added. The truth was out, and Marjorie's reign was over. 3 days later, her name was everywhere. Marjorie Hensley, HOA president, charged with attempted murder. Federal agents uncovered her digital trail mails, threats, a folder labeled Community Cleanse, targeting military families. She faced counts of attempted murder, terroristic threats, and hate crimes under a law I'd helped draft years ago. Her trial was swift, the evidence damning. Neighbors ring footage, gasoline cans, her smug smile. Guilty on all counts. She got 65 years, no parole. As they led her away, I whispered, next time, don't cross a father with friends in high places. She didn't respond. She was done. A year later, the garage rebuilt as Hangar 2 was Ethan's kingdom again. I worked beside him, wiring his latest model, a jet for pilots with mobility issues. The scars lingered. Ethan flinched at loud noises, checked exits compulsively, but he smiled. And that was enough. Then came the letter, an invitation to speak at the Pentagon's honors ceremony. Ethan wrote his speech himself. At the event, he wheeled to the podium, Viper by his side, and faced a room of generals and senators. My name's Ethan Callahan, he said. Last year, someone tried to burn me because I love planes. She said I didn't belong. But pilots don't need legs, they need heart. And my dad? He's my wingman. The room erupted. The Secretary of Defense offered him a spot in a new adaptive flight program. Ethan grinned. Roger that. Back home, Ethan asked, Dad, does she ever look up from her cell and think of me? I shook my head. No, son. People like her don't see the sky. But you? You are the sky. Marjorie's attempt to crush a boy's spirit only forged a legend. Ethan didn't just survive, he soared, proving that courage and love outshine hate. This story isn't just about one tyrant's fall. It's about the quiet strength of a child and the unbreakable bond of family. We all know someone like Marjorie, maybe not with gasoline, but with words or rules that wound. The lesson? Stand up, protect what matters, and never mistake silence for weakness. What do you think? When is violence justified to protect someone you love? Where do you draw the line between justice and vengeance? Share your thoughts below, and let's debate what it means to fight back against injustice. Your voice matters.